Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I'm your host, the Housecoat Gamer, and today we're taking a look at the Federation Holoship. Now, I'm fairly sure a lot of Star Trek fans are going, what the hell is this thing? I wouldn't blame you, because that just means you haven't watched Star Trek Insurrection, which, to be entirely fair, is one of the weaker movies in the entire thing. In short, this ship is a freighter that has been converted from carrying antimatter to basically recreating the Baku village and transporting a bunch of people off the surface of the planet. I won't go too deep in the plot, just know that it didn't succeed. Anyway, the Holoship, I suspect, was just introduced into the game for one specific reason. It just so happens that last year was Star Trek Insurrection's 25th anniversary. And because they couldn't do anything else, well, they just decided to pull this thing out. Anyway, stats. It's effectively a cruiser, but it's a weird one. Despite having primary Intel specifications, it has an extra universal console slot. And before anyone asks, no, I did not T6X this thing. Came like this stock. So that's either a mistake, or somebody didn't put it through the assurance tests. It's all universal. Lieutenant Intel, Lieutenant Commander, Miracle Worker, Lieutenant Commander, and Lieutenant... Well, I can't really say tactical. All of these things are basically just universal slots. Now, if this thing could mount dual cannons, sure. It can't. It's a cruiser. So, there you go. It's not going to be mounting any dual cannons anytime soon. The console is the Holomatrix Distortion. Which essentially gives you more inertial rating, more defense, and screws with people while giving you more damage resistance and temporary health. Which brings us to the Starship trait. Ouroboros driver. Tactical and intel, reduce engineering, and Miracle Worker recharge rates. As someone who doesn't bother using either Miracle Worker or intel abilities, mostly because there's not much point, the only ones I really see any use for are engineering and tactical, which, okay. Slightly useful. But no, the thing about this ship is it's been given the whole holographic skin treatment from the Romulan drone ship. Depending on a variation, I suppose it's a little better just to go into space and deal with it that way. Holographic configuration. The Holo Matrix transforms you into a ship during the Dominion War. In this case, the Condor-class Raider. That said, I can only have so many ships to turn into, because I haven't blown anything up with the ship. See, the reason I don't particularly like this whole thing is, well, it's kill-based. Now, I bet you're wondering, so what? Just blow up a few ships. True. There's just one problem. There's a 20-hour time limit. If I kill 250 enemies in an hour or so, I bet you're going, okay, that's 250 enemies that you don't have to deal with. You can turn into anything you want. In fact, there's a list on the blog. Everything from the Scimitar Warbird to the Jem'Hadar Dreadnought battleship. There's just one problem. After 20 hours, all that goes away. What if, for some reason, you're gone for longer than 12 hours and you expect everything to stay? Now, this being a character bind thing, that I could live with. Contrary to popular belief, I've kind of stopped STFing every day. So, yeah, that's gonna cause some problems. So, the Starship trait is marginally useful. At least for someone like me. Anyone using Miracle Worker stuff is probably going to be having fun. Its gimmick is beyond gimmicky. And the console trait, of course, is only useful for really it. Still, if you're going to give this thing more or less transform it into a cruiser raider, you might as well give it dual cannon capability. But in this case, just treat it like a regular cruiser and call it a day. It's a broadside boat. What can you do? If I seem unimpressed, I kind of am. On the plus side, and I will say this, at least it's not the Incursion. I hate the Incursion. I have always hated the Incursion. And while this is more boring, plus side, at least not a side ship, Housecoat Gaming signing off.